Hey, Egg Teacher Christmas here, coming at you with another video. Well, it's time to add another element to the yard. And I'm kind of thinking, what else is kind of Christmassy that we think about? You know, what are your Christmas songs? Merry Christmas, Away in the Manger, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And that gives me an idea. Now, I don't have a song for this yet, but I think I need to find one and program it because I have something that's very special that I came across about 2 years ago at Walmart. And last year I was able to pick up a few more. So I think I've got my set of decorations complete. So here they are. These are two different small styles of blow mold. Now, unfortunately, just the way decorations have gone in the last few years, these are battery operated, so I do have to convert them to a lighting form that I can use in my Christmas light display. There's no way for me to go through and make hundreds of batteries all sequenced together in a musical song, so I've got to convert them to plug-in style lights, and I'll probably use either a C9 or a C6 bulb. And I've got a few more of these to convert. So I have 13 that I gained last year in the clearance. And then I have a couple of totes of other ones that I got the year previous. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a angel choir. And we're going to lay it out here in the yard. Now, these, as you can see, are fairly small blow molds, which means they need to be closer to my viewers so they can understand and see what they are. So they're going to go right out here front in the yard, right next to the Hippo River. Yeah, angels and hippos. Who knew? So we're going to start laying these out. So come on in and join us for the show to see what we're going to do with our angel choir. I think the first thing is we need to figure out how many we have and what shape to lay the choir out in. So let's get to working. All right, so there we go. There are 4 rows of 8 angels. Now, one of the reasons I did a row of 8 is that my Christmas light controllers, one half of the controller will control 8 items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 items. So 2 rows together is 1 Christmas light controller, and 4 rows is 2 Christmas light controllers. Now, I have a lot of my sequences that I've used in previous years set up in groups where the number of channels is either 6, based on a 6, or based on an 8, or based on a 12. So this should work for what I'm going to do. I'll take my sequences from my leaping arches and I'll use that to play on the choirs or the choir of angels. Now, I do still have 4 angels left over. And I think mainly what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to use those as spares. So if an angel goes out mid-season, I can simply come out and replace that angel with another one that's working. And it's also going to allow me to work on the angels without having to worry about retrofitting all of them. So basically, it's going to save me 4 retrofits. So I still have 13 to do. So what is that? Not only 9 will I actually have to do. But I think this is where the angel choir is going to go. It's kind of front and center in the yard. It's next to the hippos. I think it's going to be a good decoration. And when you're sitting in the yard, having the angel choir this close with something that's only this big is going to make it a lot more impactful. Now, I wanted to make sure that I got the angels out here first and started thinking about how I was going to lay them out electrically, because once I grid the yard, it gets a little more complex out here. But I think the angels are going to work in this location. Just needed to kind of test it, and I think we'll start putting them in, or at least putting the stakes in to where the power is going to run. And then we'll start running some power out here and then figure out where that's going to go. Because there's going to be 32 cords that run out here, because each and every one has its own plug and will be individually controllable. And that's really what makes a good Christmas light show, is the ability to control things to a very fine detail. I've got a lot of Christmas light controllers. So what I got, like 17 of them, and each of them has 16 channels, or 16 things we can turn off and on. So 17 times 16, it's a lot. I have a lot of potential to do that. Now, I'm not going to use them all this year, but I'm kind of going more blow moldy this year, more heavy into that than it is like light intensive elements. So we're gonna play off more on the ability to control things than we are a volume of lights. Now, I am going to grid the yard, and that's another thing that I'm going to work on today, because the rest of this yard is going to go in white. I just needed to know where the angel choir was going to go first, because it's a whole lot easier to run cords before the grid goes in. But knowing me, I'm going to start installing the grid anyway over the top of where it goes, and I'll have to snake all the cords underneath, and it makes for like 2 days of dragging cords instead of just one. But anyway, I figured you'd like to see where the angel choir is going to go. Now we're going to kind of work at getting some of these placed and secured, because we do need to secure them to the ground, because in this area we do get wind and it will blow them over. Now, I'm simply going to put the stakes in the ground that are going to be there to hold them. I'm not going to be able to completely secure them to the ground, because this year I do want to use white zip ties that'll disappear, and I don't have any of those in stock. So anyway, we're going to keep working on the display, and then we'll start working on the yard grid. All right, so there's the stake placement for the lights. I think temporarily I'm going to go get some small zip ties, and I'm going to zip tie their cords to the back of the stakes, and then we'll do a larger white zip tie around them a little bit later, after I get to the store to pick some of those up. But yeah, we'll go get some zip ties so that the ones that have plugs don't blow over, and then the ones that don't have plugs, I'll go ahead and collect those and then work on the retrofitting indoors later when it's not sunshiny and I don't want to be outside, but I still have to work on the display. right, so there's the Angel Choir. They're all set up. We need to do a little bit of rewiring on the battery operated ones to convert them to 120 volts. But I think that's going to wrap up the video for this episode of our Christmas lights. So we'll do another video on the Christmas choir once we start connecting it, and I might do a video on the conversion too and show you how I do that. Understand I kind of hack these conversions together because I'm doing them quick and fast and usually in large quantities, but we'll work on that later tonight. Tomorrow we'll get all of the rest of the Angel blow molds laid out and put in their places, and then we'll do another follow-up video after that where we light it up and you get a chance to see them all glowing on their own. Kind of the same way we did with the Hippo River. Merry Christmas! Keep those little lights a twinkling. Ag Teacher Christmas out.